Hey there, Troxel Repair with another EN pinball repair video. Just got a King of Diamonds last week and just brought it into the shop, and going through it and looking at it doesn't look bad until you open it up. So one crazy thing I see here are 4 light switches for something. So this is really odd looking. If you have any guesses on what those are for, feel free to post in the comments, but I'll update here in a little bit, and when I open it up you might be able to see kind of what they might be doing here, but I'll reveal during the video what they were for. But let me go ahead, open it up, and show the inside of the game here. Opened up the playfield here and just going through the bottom side of the playfield. Quick inspection, you know, most things look good, just all like a stretch spring here. It's the only thing I noticed kind of on a quick glance, but when I come down here, should have done a better job inspecting this. I figured, oh, the wires, I can undo those, but as I dig in here more, it looks like a lot of these wiring bundles have been undone, and it looks like a whole bunch maybe of wiring has been redone in here. It's just kind of a mess of everything here. I think the first thing I'm probably going to do is maybe remove the playfield and start working on undoing this hack here and trying to get just back to ground zero. I'm hoping this isn't too much work, but I do have the schematics, start going through those, but just see like a lot of electrical tape and a lot of wires not connected throughout the machine. So just kind of worried initially. So I did not see this when I initially inspecting it. I saw the red wires. I didn't think much about it. I was like, oh, I'll just disconnect those. But as I look further into it, it looks like there's been quite a bit that might have been changed. So curious to see what's going on. So I'm gonna probably remove the playfield and get into it. Went ahead, removed one of the switches that were here, and what was going on? One is the bell here, so you kind of cut it just so we could see what's going on. They ran one cord here, ran it back to the switch, and then the other one was the bell. So I just need to extend this and put this back on to undo that hack. The second switch was the on-off switch, so fairly easy to do. What they did is just spliced in the cord here so I can see, grab both ends here. And so what they did is just added a switch in between here. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just replace the cord. That will update the 2 hacks there. The next 2, kind of working on, go back to the head of the machine. These are going to be the other 2 bells. So I'm going to go ahead, clean that up. Also, once I'm done with that, put in a new power cord. I'll kind of go through switches, everything here, maybe plug it in at that point and see what I got. But just trying to undo these hacks right now and just wanted to give an update. Went ahead, replaced the power cord here. So that was one of the hacks, just split the wire and essentially just connected it all back together. Same process here on the bell. So they split the wire here, ran the on-off switch to in between the break here. So just remove that, reconnected this, added shrink wrap here, and then just added a quick disconnect here. Ideally, if you don't want the bell, do that, and now the bell won't ring. You don't really have to run a switch, but it is what it is. So if I want the bell back on, I can just go ahead, add that back on. Kind of the same things going on in the back box. I can go ahead, show this here. Same kind of thing going on. What they're doing, this is the 0 to 9 unit. I'm trying to get it in the camera there. They added a switch to this coil here. You can kind of see it. They just split this. When that off switch is in the off position, this mechanism wouldn't fire, therefore wouldn't ring the bell, but also maybe some other features were missing when this was off. I just need to find the other end here and just connect. It's the same wire. You can see from here to here, and just connect these back, and that should be that hack. The other one is the big bell. I got one wire missing. It needs to go back on here. Same story, hacked wire here. You can see the wire color. And then if I come down here into this, you can see the same color here. I'll go ahead, rewire these back up. Just looking in here, notice nice hold here. Just a piece of wire holding the reel in. Also at one point it looked like maybe there's a rubber band here for tension, and looks like I got a couple springs here working as the tension here. It does work, so decent hack there. And then going back to the score motor, this is worrying me a little bit. I'm seeing some like almost loose wire, not even soldered on. There's a couple of those down there. And then I got two wires. It looks like they're permanently shut here. So this is another hack I kind of saw when I was going through it, but going to kind of undo those, maybe figure out what's going on here, since I know kind of the other ones with the red wires. But I did go ahead, remove all the nasty red wires that were here, remove the two switches, and now you can see the front of the coin door is back to normal. Continue to update here, but it is coming along. Went ahead, cleaned up this wiring, so removed the red wires and just soldered this back onto the bell. Also resoldered the black one on the left side here. A little bit harder to see, but kind of the same thing over here. On this coil, I went ahead and wired this. And when I was in here, still just kind of doing a visual inspection, I went ahead, flipped these up. I do have a number of these that are broken and are going to need to get replaced. Other thing, I just follow this kind of guide I have. I can put this in the description if you want to get a download of it. But if you see my other videos, I just really go through kind of these 5 steps. So right now I'm kind of in the visual inspection. I undid those door hacks just to kind of get it back to ground zero. Now I'm going to start going through looking for anything that might be out of place. And so just seeing the broken cards here, that's one thing just to note. And then as I'm going down, next up I always do is check fuses. There's 2 fuses. Let's see if I can get at them. Right here, these were 1 amp slow blows. Both of these were blown, so that's giving me some kind of maybe hint. And if I come back around, every fuse had the wrong value in it or was blown. So this one was blown also. This one had a higher amperage than it should. Over here, this one was a 10 amp, so I just moved it over, but this one, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't a 10 or a 15, so remove that and remove these. So always go through, double check, make sure not only the fuses are good, but make sure they're the right rating. A lot of times people will put in a higher one, and that's when things could burn, catch on fire, etc. So always a good precaution. I usually replace the power cord if it looks bad. Always go back and look at the fuses. So just kind of giving a quick update. Once I'm here, now I'm going to probably put the game back together, see what happens when I turn it on, and then I can go ahead, start tackling maybe some problems that pop up. But this is just kind of how I go through these games. I just want to show what I do with fuses. Usually I'm going to go ahead, replace them with the correct values. I got a couple kits with fast blow, slow blow. So if I open this up, I can grab whichever one. So I'm going to try this first, see if anything doesn't blow. If a fuse does blow, then I got these resettable circuits, which are really nice to use when I'm troubleshooting, and I sell these on my store. I'll put a link in the description. But other thing I have are these flex fuses, so these can kind of expand, and I can put different things in those. So one might be circuit breaker. The other is I can do like car fuses. If I don't have the normal ones, this works also. But these work really well when troubleshooting. Definitely don't want to use these long term. So if they blow, I'm going to keep them in, figure out what's causing the short, and then replace those with correct fuse here. But I'm going to go ahead, put all the correct values in, turn it back on, see if any of them blow, and then I'll report back from there. Went ahead, turned on the game with those fuses, nothing blew, so that's a great sign. So continuing to troubleshoot this. I've kind of done step 3 here, where I've gone through all the mechs, make sure they're moving freely. The score reels, the units all seem to be moving fine. And so then I'm going to jump to step 4, and I went ahead and did this. So I powered on the machine, put a credit on, hit the start button, score motors continuously going. And what I noticed is the 110s on the score unit is locking on. And I don't have a Playfield here if I back out just a little bit. So that's probably going to be on the scoring relay. So what I'm going to do next is just kind of save myself some hassle and go through all 3 score reels, go through those scoring relays, make sure everything's clean, adjusted. Once I'm done with that, then I'll come back, put probably ones up on the score reels, see if the game will start without the Playfield. Sometimes you need the Playfield. I haven't dug into the schematics enough, but looks like it's wanting to reset without the score, without the Playfield here. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, work on the score reels and relays and report back. And before I start, I just wanted to kind of show kind of what's going on here. So I did remove that wire that was in, but these are moving pretty well. So I was happy to see that. I'm just going to probably go in, maybe look at the switches, adjust those. These are the relays I was talking about. So LMN here. I'll go ahead, look at those and see if I can clean those up. Just set that down. And then see if I can go ahead and get the scores to reset here. I have the tens reel here and just pulled it out, and I think I found why the scores are sticking on or stuck on. So go ahead and adjust these, but something got misaligned here. These are pretty out of alignment here, so go ahead and do that and see what happens. Went ahead and adjusted the switches on the 10 scoring unit and put up ones and going to start a game. Did this just a second ago. What happens? The reels reset when I did it, but the score motor's still running. And what's happening is DB is firing. That's the reset relay. And it's missing basically a switch. It's not turning it on or off. So I'll show just the scores resetting, the motor spinning here, and then we'll go to the back box and look at what's going on here. So scores reset fine. We have the score motor spinning. And then coming back to the back box here, I can see DB is this end one, but what's happening is this switch here, and I can hear it clicking. This switch here is never changing state. So I'm going to come back, adjust this. This is, let's see so this switch is never moving. So that's at least one thing wrong here. So I'm going to go clean this up and see if that stops this. I was wrong. DB did not fix the motor spinning. So I'm not seeing any other things that control the motor. It's WDB, O, B, Q, C, and motor 1C. And so what I did is I'm just looking at 1C. I don't know if I can zoom in here, but there's a lot of just weird wiring going on. So like there's a little jumper here that you probably can't see. This is like inside the switch stack. This is super long here and wrapped around. And you can see more metal down here and over here. So I'm going to clean this out. I just buzzed 1C. It is closed even though it is open here. Get it in there. And so I'm going to try cleaning this up. Probably come back to this. I was trying to avoid it, but saw this at the start when I was going through it. But I'm going to go through and kind of figure out what's what here. Maybe just do one switch at a time, retest it, see what that does. Nice thing is I do have this here in place, so this should help quite a bit. So this is the next thing I'm going to do. As I said, the scores are resetting. That's great. Start button's doing that. Next problem is just this motor's continuously spinning. So I'm going to look at some of the wiring here. So getting in here some more. It's kind of the looks like I don't want to solder, so I'm going to open the gap on the switches and then just sandwich them in. So it looks like I got like 4 or 5 of those. So there's one here that was sandwiched, the red white sandwiched here. And then I have these little jumper wires that are going on. So again, I'm going to just clean this up. This is a mess. So this might take some time to go through. I'm going to resolder, so don't be afraid to use those soldering irons instead of pinching the wires between 2 metal plates here. But I will report back here. This is not what I wanted to do, but it is what it is. Update here, motor is right here, and that's going to get called when W, D, B, O, B, Q, C, or motor 1C switch is closed. That's going to make a correct path for that to run. And so what I've been doing is just going through all of those relays, and these have been fine. Even disconnected the head just to remove dB from the equation, still getting a short. One thing I missed is S way over here also controls the motor, and if I come back to the game, I believe that's what it is. So if I can zoom in here, I got a switch that's stuck on the S relay. So just kind of show my work. I pulled out all these relays, checked these. I did resolder all the wires here, added a jumper, and then resoldered all of these. This, I believe, is now the way it should be. I'm going to go ahead, pull the 2 ring nuts, flip this unit up, and adjust switch S, and I think that's going to stop the motor from spinning here. So I'll give an update here in a minute. For quite a bit of time, I think I finally got it figured out. So the score motor was running continuously, and what was happening is it basically just missing the home position. After a while, I got it to basically stop here, so it was over rotating. And so what I did is came under here, just added some 3-in-1 oil here, and probably won't get at it, but this armature here is what stops it. So this, I think, was gummed up. Added some lubrication, moving it, this is now moving freely. So I'll be able to show that this is now stopping. I'll go ahead, put zeros on the score reel, and show that, the reset is now complete and now ready to go to the next step. Went ahead, turned on the game, put 1s on the scores here, and go ahead. I'm going to hit start, and hopefully resets and score motor stops here. And now when I look at the score motor, that's perfect. It stopped right in the middle. It wasn't on the edge, and this is great to see. Also, what I did, kind of cleaning up some more hacks. So they had basically the second credit was run to the coin switch, so it was adding credits and starting the game. I undid that. I'll probably patch this up, and I did put the game in free play. I just went to the replay unit and adjusted a closed switch. The ball count unit, this was really misaligned. Redid that when I was putting it into free play. Notice some more just loose wires around. As I keep going into the game, I keep running into this constantly, so trying to patch these up as I go. Also, the other thing, when I was trying to troubleshoot why the score wheel wasn't stopping, I thought I had a short, so I was disconnecting the red-white wires and did that twice to try to isolate it. That was kind of a venture I didn't need to do, but I'll go ahead, solder these red-white wires back onto the relays, go ahead, clean this up, and also clean up the wiring on the door. So just a little bit more cleanup. Once this is done, I'll probably put in the Playfield and start, see if I can play a game a little bit. Once I'm done with that, then I'll start working on cleaning up the Playfield, but slowly getting here. Went ahead and put the Playfield in, just did a quick test. It is responding somewhat. A lot of things need adjusted, but good sign here. I'll go ahead, give it a start here. Had to fiddle with the ball, kick out. does kick out scoring. A lot of scores get stuck on, but I got double scorings going on. Locked coils. But it is starting to play, which is good to see. So I will go ahead, probably clean the playfield, re-rubber it, change out the lights as needed. And once I have that done, then I'll start adjusting switches and looking and troubleshooting a little bit more. But this is really good to see. It is alive and appears to be working for the most part. So hopefully now it gets a little bit easier and quicker, and I will be back. Working on the playfield here, just going to show kind of how I clean it. Maybe not the best method, but what works for me. So I just did this one, just quick kind of first pass, and kind of show over here in the yellow, it's really kind of dirty and ground in here. And I just use Novus 2. I'll just put a little bit down. And then I have a Rubbermaid brush that I like to use. And I just turn it on and just work this area for a minute or two, and that usually gets it. I have to be careful of, chip wear here, but this is paint's pretty durable, and just turn it on and go. So it doesn't come up instantly. It does take a little bit of work, and then I just come back over and just clean it up. And as I said, this is kind of first pass, but you can see quite a huge difference here from what it was just a second ago. So just wanted to show how I did this. I know some people asked in the past, but this is usually what I do. Do this a few times, and then I'll do wax and clean it, and it should look good. It's coming along. I did some other sections. Didn't do this part and did this part, so I'll continue doing it and report back when it's done. Went ahead and finished up the playfield, just cleaning it, waxing it. Put in the lights here, and always kind of double check, make sure like the GI lights are working. Also a good time just to check spacing and gaps on the switches here when the new rubbers are on. I do all this before I put the plastics on. I'll probably keep the plastics off here as I start troubleshooting, but this is now kind of ground zero for the game. It's working, and now this is to me where the fun begins. So kind of all the pre-work is done. Now I can go in, start testing it, troubleshooting it. I know I need to probably go through some mechs and units and clean those up and redo those, but really haven't done much playing on this game yet, so I'm gonna give it a start here and kind of see what problems pop up and start just diving in and troubleshooting as they come up. A lot of times I'll kind of do this beforehand, but thought it'd be fun to do a video and kind of show the problems as they're happening, and then troubleshoot them as they come along. But it's coming along. It looks good, a lot better than it did a little bit ago, so stay tuned. So first problem I'm going to tackle, if I hit the score, looks like all 3 digits are moving. This is really sluggish. This is going to have to be rebuilt and cleaned up, but try another score here. Got something sticking on here. Just turned it off and double checked. It's a 0 to 9 units sticking on, along with a score reel on that. So I'm going to start going back to the score reels, make sure the 9th switch is adjusted right, because it looks like it's carrying over when there's a score. Also probably go through that 0-9 unit, which I haven't done yet. So I will start in the back box and report back. In the back box here, and starting with the 0 to 9 unit, took off the wipers and just starting to clean the rivets here. This is the wiper that I removed. And mentioned earlier, this was not looking good. It's good tension. Looked like there was a rubber band here to bring in that. So I need to order both springs here. I'm going to take this apart, give it a good cleaning, and order those springs, and that should take care of the 0 to 9 units. I will move to the square reels again and kind of see what's going on with scoring, sticking. The 9 switches look good, so it might be something else, but just wanted to give a quick update here. Here I'm moving from one unit to the next unit, working on the roto target, kind of taken apart, did the underside. I'm going to come in and replace the decals, so remove the 3 screws here. I'll pull this unit up, give it a clean, and then put new decals on. And hopefully this will be it for this unit. I do need to order a spring for it, but it seems to be working fine with the one that's in there now. And once I'm done with that, kind of turn it back on, play a game. I know I need to adjust those score reels or figure out why all 3 of them are turning when a point is scored, but kind of the game plan here. I'm in the back of the machine here, still trying to figure out why if I hit 1 point, does the 10-point relay engage and the score reel turn along with the 100-point relay and score reel. And kind of going through, and what I noticed when I hit all the switches, all 3 all 3 reels were changing, except for when I hit the ace drop target over here. This dropped and then it was scoring correctly for the 1 point. And so started to investigate back here on these bank targets and just notice these are really out of alignment. A lot of these are broken. The jack here is missing the yellow nylon spacer that helps push that in. So I think what I'm going to do at this point is go ahead, place an order, try to track down these cards. I'll replace these, really go through all of these switches, make sure everything's in the correct position, put it back. Also look at the roto target a little bit more, but I think what's best is to stop this video. I'll do part 2 here once the parts come in and finish this up, but thought this was a good stopping point. Now, again, if you like the videos, feel free to like, comment, and share. Appreciate it. Thanks.